Hi, this is Mike with TFB TV. Now, I was going through my collection of handguns a while back and realised that I had an awful lot with magazine releases on the heel of the butt. Now, what on earth is the deal with that then? I mean, nowadays we're pretty much accepted that we need a push button release here so that we can drop a mag, or if you're Walther, maybe a flappy lever there. Anyway, whatever the magazine release is, it's not on there anymore. But back in the day, an awful lot of guns had heel releases like that. There's a few abhorrences with a release on the toe of the butt, but heel release was pretty well accepted. Now, I think what we have to do is go and look a bit in the context of when the semi-automatic pistol was kind of a new deal and John Browning was kind of the big guy inventing all sorts of things. And he didn't seem to come down on one side or the other on it because, for instance, we have here an FN model 1910, which is a John Browning design, heel release, and then you've got 1911, which I don't have. So I'm sure you're all aware of the 1911, but it's got a push button just like this 226. Now, 100 and odd years later, we're all very much used to the idea of what a pistol should be, what its ergonomics should be. But back in the day, this wasn't the case. People didn't really know. The other thing that we're used to is the idea of magazines being relatively cheap, although anyone who's got an expensive race gun and is paying ridiculous amounts of money for a magazine might disagree with you. But bog standard, normal magazines are, compared to the price of the gun, not enormously expensive. Back in the day, they were relatively precision-made items. Now, this modern idea that we're going to drop magazines on the floor, particularly on the range, that just wasn't a thing. So in any case, you're always going to be retaining the magazine. So your hand is always going to be up near the butt of the pistol, irrespective of whether it's a Luger with a push button, a 1911 with a push button, or an FN 1910/22 with a heel release. You're going to be stowing that magazine, getting a new one, putting it in, racking the slide, and carrying on. This even hung around till fairly late. Here's a SIG P210, so very much a modern pistol, and it has a heel release. But why? There's got to be something more to this than just a choice between two competing systems. And actually, there is. Now, if we look at the types of holsters of the day, I mean, this is a post-war German police holster for this FN 1922. Now, I know the 1911 gets it right, but for instance, on a Luger, the push button is actually sits quite proud of the grip, and it's quite easy. If you are wearing this and then are pushed against something hard, it's entirely possible for you to accidentally drop your magazine, and then when you need your gun, you've got one round or no rounds, depending on whether you've got one up the spout or not. And then if we go over into pocket pistols that might just be carried in a pocket, a push button has a much higher chance of being accidentally pressed in the pocket than a heel release. And that's basically what it comes down to. It's that back in the day, they weren't thinking of shooting a 40-round course of fire in a US PSA match, or possibly getting into an engagement with some bad guys and needing to very, very quickly reload several 15-round magazines. Handguns were badges of rank. They were for police to fire a few shots at a ruffian. I mean, we're talking, to repeat myself from earlier videos, pre certain recreational pharmaceuticals. So you're not expecting to have to fire a large number of rounds. I mean, for instance, a German policeman armed with one of these has 2 magazines of 9 rounds each. That's it, of 32 ACP as well. So not exactly particularly pokey ammunition in modern standards. And you see this, here's a Tokarev TT33, and what they've done is they've made the push button mag release, because this is based on a 1911, but they made the mag release hard to get at, and you've got to push it really quite hard. You can't accidentally, I mean, This is very difficult to do. I've not got very long thumbs, but I struggle to do a quick reload, sort of in front of your face reload with this. I got it that time. This is a non-trivial design choice to try and stop people dumping their mags in their holsters. Now this isn't an issue anymore because we've not only got the designs of the gun right in terms of the position and the force required to press the button, but also we've got the holster design right with modern hard or padded holsters that are basically impossible to press the button accidentally with. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing to TFB TV. Thank you very much to our patrons who help to make this kind of content possible, and not forgetting our sponsors Ventura Munitions and Proxibid. Bye.